Well, it is a record no city ever wants to eclipse. Toronto has now matched its highest ever mark for most homicides in 1 year. The latest victim dying in a hail of gunfire overnight in the city's northwest end.
Essentially, it was a gun battle between the offenders who fled, who murdered the deceased, and the people that were associated with the deceased.
Investigators believe 10 to 20 shots were fired just after midnight on Ann Arbor Road. That's near Albion and Weston. Detectives say the victim was sitting in a car when another vehicle approached with an apparent acquaintance inside. A third vehicle then pulled up and the victim was shot, touching off a gun battle between the two sides involving at least 4 guns. The victim has been identified as Johannes Berhanu. The 22-year-old was armed with a loaded gun, but police say he never fired it. Berhanu is the city's 89th homicide of the year, matching the infamous record set back in 1991. One veteran member of Toronto's homicide squad says the public can play a big role in stopping crime.
Back in '91, there were quite a few shootings as well. There were quite a few shootings down in Chinatown. We had a problem with Asian organized crime, and the number of shootings that happened back then. There were a lot of double murders, triple murders. I think even some quadruple murders. And I think that's why we had that spike back in 1991. But there was a reaction from the public, and the public got involved and provided information and provided the tips that allowed us to successfully investigate those crimes and get the right people behind bars. And we had a real downswing in homicides over the years thanks to that, and we certainly don't want to see an upswing again.
Just over half of this year's homicides have been shootings. Toronto police say they've seen an upswing in tips from the public over the recent months, and that roughly 70% of this year's homicides have been solved. The total of 89 homicides this year include 10 people who were killed in the Yonge Street van attack back in April.